So we're here today because all across the nation, Indigenous people and our allies are trying to get rid of Columbus Day and replace it with Indigenous Peoples Day. We're doing that for multiple reasons. First is to tell the truth about Columbus. Columbus did not bring civilization to us. We already had multiple civilizations. We did not need anybody to come here to show us how to live or to teach us how to pray or who we should pray to. Columbus was not a hero at all. In fact, he and his men killed people by the thousands, the Taino and Arawak people whose land they had invaded. They raped women. They fed Indigenous babies to their giant dogs that they brought with them. They engaged in slave trading. Columbus kidnapped people as young as 9 years old, young women as young as 9 years old, to be sexual slaves and to be sold. The wiping out of the Indigenous populations here, down in the islands, what directly led to the slave trade of our African siblings. All of these things began to happen as a result of Columbus and his men coming. They would test the sharpness of their blades by cutting off hands of Taino and Arawak people. They thought nothing of killing people. And yet he's been held up for all of us as a hero. It's a federal holiday, it's a state holiday, and it's a holiday right here in Boston. And it shouldn't be anymore. But more than that, we bring something positive today. Some people sometimes say, oh, you just want to get rid of things. No, we don't. We're building things. In fact, as Indigenous peoples, we've been saying we know how to save the earth if you would listen to us. But because there's so little respect for us, non-native people are not listening to us. Because they think that we're just savages or we're primitive or we don't know anything. But what we need to do is center Native voices, Native experiences, Native history, Native resilience, Native resistance. When we start doing that, then there will be a lot for non-Native people to learn, and our cultures and our people will be stronger than ever. So what we're going to do today is we're going to have a rally here, and we have some beautiful people here who have important things to say. And then we're going to march. We wanted to march to City Hall because what we want is we want Boston City Council to present an Indigenous Peoples Day resolution. And we want to put pressure on them. And I hope that after we're done today, all of you will join in our campaign and help us with that. But we've been told that we're not supposed to march to City Hall, apparently. So my understanding is that is that right? That is what I heard. Okay. We were told by the police that we're not supposed to march to City Hall. So where we're going to go is we're going to march down to Christopher Columbus Park on the waterfront, where there's a venerated statue of Christopher Columbus. And we're going to go down there and we're going to liberate the statue, because that statue, we have signs to put on him, we can decorate him, and we will talk about him, and we will talk about the truth of our history when we go down there, so that anybody who's down there, all the tourists in the area and everything else, are going to hear why that statue shouldn't be there. Just as all those Confederate statues and flags and Confederate everything have been coming down in the South, Columbus needs to come down up here. He's a symbol of white supremacy, there's no question about that. And it's an insult every day to have things named Columbus and for people to honor Columbus publicly as a matter of the state and the government backing it. So I'm going to ask if Jean-Luc Pirit, who is the president of the Board of Directors of North American Indian Center of Boston, can say a few words for us.
Thank you. I'm from the Tunica Biloxi tribe of Louisiana, originally from New Orleans. I'm also a descendant of the Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians. My name is Jean-Luc Pirit, and here locally, as Matuin said, I'm the president of the Board of Directors at the North American Indian Center of Boston. And we are privileged to be the longest standing urban Indian center here in Boston. These days we also share the workload with Native American Lifelines, ensuring the health and general welfare of our community. And here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, American Indian community is up to 50,000 people. So we have a lot of work to do to safeguard the health and general welfare of our community. And we also have programming specifically for our women who are victims of, affected by sexual assault and domestic violence. So I come to you today, back home. I'm always of two minds. I'm here, and yet I'm also back home, because on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, right now we have Hurricane Nate bearing down on southeast Louisiana, southwest Mississippi. And there, in that region, is the world's first climate change refugee community, the Ile de Jean Charles Band of Biloxi Chitimacha, as well as the United Homa Nation will also stand to be impacted. This hurricane season, just like Columbus's ships, the Pinta, the Nina, and the Santa Maria, well, this hurricane season we have Harvey and Irma and Maria. Hurricane Harvey, southeast Texas, southwest Louisiana, my tribe, the Tunica Biloxi, and the Livingston, Alabama Coushatta impacted. Irma went up to Florida, impacted the Seminole and the Miccosukee. And now with Maria leaving millions of American citizens without power and in the heat. This devastation, once again, intergenerational trauma we're talking about today. And so this is the urgency. We're so out of time. And so going back to the president, just for one more thing, he went to Puerto Rico. He said, I hate to say it, but the recovery here, Puerto Rico, you've thrown our budget a little bit out of whack. What about the endless war in Afghanistan? Does that not throw our budget out of whack? What about tax reform, tax breaks for millionaires and billionaires like Sheldon Adelson? Does that not throw our budget out of whack? Safeguarding Indigenous people and their descendants and our homelands should be priority, because we have the knowledge. And it is everybody's time to listen. Kutch.